Hello, Susanne Ulrich. You are in Germany and we are in Israel, and you have good connections with the Adam Institute and with Dr. Uki Marushek Kalman. And as I understand, you adapt the program to your country. Tell me about it.
Absolutely. We got to know it in 1994. Myself, I went to Israel. I learned to know Uki Marushek and the whole staff of the Adam Institute, and we got to learn the program. By that time, it was called Bitsafta, and we thought this is genius, this is great. We need to take it back home. We need to do some adaptations maybe, and maybe I can talk later about the adaptations we did. But we thought this is a wonderful way of learning democracy, and indeed, we got funding from the Bertelsmann Foundation for over 8 years to translate it, to adapt it, to implement it, to spread it in Germany. And even a 3-year evaluation of the program was included in this 8-year program. And this was from 1995 to 2003. But we didn't stop in 2003. We kept on training people and widening the community of Bitsafta trainers. We called it Bitsafta in Germany. In Germany, the whole program, the method of the Adam Institute is known by the name of Bitsafta. People are so, I don't know, in love with the word. We wanted to translate it in German. It would mean miteinander, and we wanted to call it this way, but people just love the word. And so everybody now knows the famous strange word Bitsafta. That's the program you should learn if you are into democracy.
Together. In Hebrew,
Yes.
that's the meaning.
Yeah.
And, it's wonderful. I didn't know. It's amazing that you kept the name. And if you could explain, what did you study from our system, the UKI's system, and what was the adaptation?
Yeah, first of all, the method is a very special one. It's called the conflict dilemma method, and you make use of the dilemma that is coming with democracy all the time, when you have needs, you have wishes, desires, and rights, and they are contradicting with other people's rights. And then you might soon come into a dilemma, and with the help of the program, with the help of the facilitator, you will see that dilemma, and you will see that the position of your opponent in a conflict, so to say, is something that you have in yourself. And then you start feeling the dilemma. And with feeling the dilemma, you understand this is just a position the other one takes. And it's a position you might take also in another situation, in another whatever. It could be your position too. So you feel the dilemma. And the readiness to find a good solution for the conflict will be much bigger or better the moment you feel the dilemma. That's the idea behind this method. And we fell in love with this method, and we also understood that this is a way of democracy learning that will be, in a way, it's hands-on. People also understand much better the procedures of democracy. But the most important thing is the biggest goal behind it is the acknowledgement of the equal right for freedom. So this sounds so abstract that people will say, yeah, of course I do, clear, this is what we all want, but how to do it? And this method really makes you understand how to do it. And it's not about empathy. I learned it from Uki, and I think this is very important. Lots of programs are about empathy, and then you step into somebody else's shoes for a while, and you feel like, wow, this is how to live in this way. But this is not Bitsafta. This is not the method of the Adam Institute. Here you really take the conflict, the other side, into yourself. It's much more. I think it's much. Has much more impact than just empathy.
And in Israel, we have a complicated community. We are multicultural. And in Germany, it's new for you, but it came to be a multicultural country. A lot of immigrants from all over the world, even from Israel. So
yeah,
that's the way that you felt good to adapt it?
Well, the multicultural aspect was just one aspect. Actually, in the 90s, in the mid 90s, when it was brought to Germany, we had a lot of problems after the reunification. We had a lot of problems in terms of right-wing extremism, in terms of violence and violence towards refugees and synagogues. And every time you have these problems or these incidents, the only good thing about it is that foundations and public money understand, or public, that there is a need to do something about it. So we got the possibility to really translate the program and to, the adaptation. I need to tell you, in the first place, we thought the Israeli society, they are so well, they're just familiar with conflict all the time, while conflict and being a bit rough, being a bit straightforward or something, I've been there 25 times, I think, and I really understood it's a bit different here, and you need to adapt a bit to that if you come from another place. And we felt, we have to make some adaptations, because otherwise our German participants would go like, ooh, this is too much. You can't confront us this much. And I think nowadays, if I look at myself, I have gone much more back to the roots. I'm quite confrontative with people with the idea of the acknowledgement of the equal right for freedom and what it means for the stronger group and for the weaker group, for participants who belong to stronger or weaker groups. What are the consequences for them? And to make this alive in a learning group is such a learning experience. I would say you can't find it in any other program. There are lots of anti-racist programs that are very good, everything. But this understanding of what are the consequences for weaker and stronger groups in societies, if you take, for example, a decision, if you take a rule or you don't make a rule, that's the program, to really experience it and to see what the turnout, what would come out of a decision or a non-decision.
So you are doing workshops, lectures, what especially? As in Adam Institute?
It's not like in Adam Institute, because we don't have like just a small number of facilitators that would go out, but we had we should train as many people as possible over the years. That was the task of the foundation that funded us in the first place. And we did, actually. Until now, I'm doing train the trainers all the time. I love it. It's the best way of doing it, because you get to work with people for at least 15 days. We have like 3 times 5 days, 3 modules, and some time in between. And we have trained, I don't know, over 1,000 trainers over the year in Germany.
And you are doing it in the German language, or
yes.
You are using Turkish or something to touch, to be more close to the community?
If we do have groups that would require that, we would look for trainers who can cover this. So I would just do it in German. And if we have groups that need some different language, after 2015, with more people coming from Syria or from other places, we were looking for people who could do it in that language. But it's not that easy, I have to admit. We started a program to have tandems, have one person with German language and one person with Arab language, and also with refugee experience, to bring them together and to do the training together.
What can we say? Democracy is the best way, but it's complicated.
Oh, it's really complicated. But that's the charming thing about Bezafte, about the program of the Adam Institute, is that you get to see that, yes, it's a struggle for a just or a fair or an equal world or a society. So people understand, it's not just like fun all the time. You can have a lot of fun while learning it, but still it's a serious thing. It's a serious thing for some other people. It's more serious. And for those who are more privileged, they might also understand, wow, this is why it's working this way. And maybe I have to reconsider my privilege. That's why it's kind of radical. That's what I like about it.
What can I say, Susanne Ulrich? It's wonderful, and I'm happy that it works, and we wish that we could spread it to more countries, and you are a good ambassador for that.
I love to be the ambassador, the first ambassador for sure in Germany, I think I am the one who really is, every time, wherever I go, I tell people, if you want to know, get to know the Rolls Royce of democracy learning programs, get to know Bitsafter.
Thank you very much.
Very, very welcome. I hope we can really all go on with teaching and learning democracy all the time and having a good time with it. Have a good time over there.